Today's game is Cannibal Abduction by Sweely. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Forgive me, for I have sinned.
I absolve you of your sins.
Each game they have made has been a callback to a different type of genre or art style, copying it to an all-inspiring level. These games, which I have not played, but from reading and researching, he made a PS1-inspired fishing game called Rottenwood Lake, created for a PS1 haunted game jam in one weekend, a dungeon crawling experience called Mork's Trail, and a couple of other browser games. This person has been busy cooking. Before even writing the script, I noticed he made a game called The Night of the Scissors. Saw a couple of other YouTubers play it. The style and the gameplay moves over to today's game. Cannibal Abduction is available on Steam. It is yet another PS1 Resident Evil / Alone in the Dark fixed camera angle survival horror inspired game with an 80s slasher backdrop. It reminded me a lot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which came out in 1976. But anyways, this has a farmhouse in the middle of nowhere, redneck inbred vibes, and a crazy mass psychopath, minus the skin on the face. 10 out of 10. I will stay again. So we play as Henry, finally able to use his dad's car. He's gonna go away, make some memories with his friends, and of course, as all slasher movies go, the car's a piece of fucking dog shit. Thanks, Dad. Also, thanks for clicking the video. If you're new here, welcome. Well, I welcome you. I welcome you so much. By the way, making more video essays instead of edited gameplay footage. I'm not that entertaining to watch, so I'd rather explain my experience through a cool edited video. Thanks again for clicking the video. Please sit back, relax, light one up. This is Cannibal Abduction.
Man, I've been needing this for so long. Pop didn't even notice. Too busy on the bottle, as usual.
Kinda looks like the style of the dude.
Hell yes! Just the road and I. What the? No, baby, don't do this to me now! Shit! Great.
What a day to end up stranded, huh?
Oh, thank God. Could I get a lift? This heap of junk just died on me.
Sure thing, son. But I wouldn't leave your vehicle out here. That's asking for trouble. My home's just over yonder, and lucky for you, this old man's a mechanic. We could tow her to my garage.
Would you? Mighty kind of you, sir.
Grab some rope and tie it good and tie it to the truck now. Welcome to the Tucker Farm, son.
Must be pretty boring around these parts.
You would be surprised. Some things happen out here folks wouldn't believe. Alright, let's pop the hood and take a gander. Heavens to Betsy. The engine's in a right mess.
Pop's gonna kill my ass.
Don't worry yourself now. I'll make you an offer. I see you got a toolbox in your back seat. The old lady's been bugging me to fix an old wardrobe for weeks, but the garage has me busy as a cat on a hot tin roof. You ain't no mechanic, that's for sure. You a carpenter by trade?
My pop's profession. I know my way around a hammer and nail.
Sounds like we have a deal. Come, let's get inside.
The fuck?
After you.
So, is this the wardrobe?
It sure is. Should be easy work for you, right?
I reckon I'll have this done in an hour.
There, the boy. I'll get to fixing your vehicle. It'll run better than ever. Oh, before I forget, the wife listens to her favorite radio station around this time. Don't want to annoy the old goat. Better keep the door closed if that's all right with you.
Sure, man. All right, let's get to it.
Henry is basically done getting this cabinet fixed for the rednecks. It is starting to get dark now, though. The whole room is dark. Henry starts to question if this house even has electricity. We start to look around, and the first two things we are introduced to are a toolbox and, of course, tank controls. Now, this is definitely inspired by classic survival horror games. The entire experience takes place in this whole inbred house. More of a mansion similar to the RE games. By the way, I am making constant comparisons to Resident Evil through this game. I also got to give it to Alone in the Dark that inspired Resident Evil games because we cannot forget our forefathers and their sacrifices. However, I have not played Alone in the Dark. My experience is all through Resident Evil. I know, another sin. Locked doors, locked cabinets, objects around the house, missing an element, for example, like a car missing its tires, so you gotta find the tires and put it on the car. And these are the type of puzzles that usually are in like Resident Evil games. From my experience, all these tasks take place within one property or within the distance of the main building, usually. Cannibal Abduction is very similar to Resident Evil 1 through 3. Eventually, the Resident Evil series goes forward for a more action-centered focus, eventually making full circle Resident Evil 7, which brought back the more horror and the more puzzles. When it comes to these type of games, it's all about being patient and looking for glowing objects. In this game, though, the flashlight is used to expose the items because that's how dark these rooms are. And then they start to glow. As stupid as that sounds, back in the day the graphics weren't as good, but today the graphics are too good, so you gotta make them highlighted. Ironic. There is one other method I use that is called the Zelda method. Basically, check every corner of the room. Works all the time.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
As soon as I started to look around, I noticed I could connect my controller to this game. So I did. And boy, did it make the experience more nostalgic. Brought me back to my childhood. After getting used to the controls, it was time to play. Goddamn tank controls, you son of a bitch. As told from Google, in a game with tank controls, pressing up on the game controller moves the character in the direction they face. Down reverses them. Left and right rotates them. The difference? From many games, in which characters move in the direction players push from the perspective of the camera. Alright, so here we are. In the toolbox room still. There is a door to get out of it that is locked. Who saw that coming? I go and check the toolbox. I find a bobby pin inside and use it to unlock the door. Classic Resident Evil fashion, I gotta go to my inventory, select the item, and use it while facing the door too. We don't get the classic door opening in first person. This was a method to use to hide the loading screens back in the day. It seemed like a seamless experience. As soon as we leave the room, we see a shiny object on a hallway table. We go to check it out, and it's a classic flashlight. Next to it is a note. Your mother and I are leaving for town. We'll be back later tonight. Great news. I have a nice young stray locked in Fred's bedroom. Take care of it as soon as possible. Don't play with the food. I guess I am the nice young stray, also known as a snack. It's a cannibal abduction after all. Our character doesn't seem to understand what the food is or means, silly little bitch. We actually are upstairs with other doors down the hall and of course locked. We need a key to open it, can't lockpick it. The other door is missing a knob. Cannibals. We make our way downstairs and see the American flag. The big ass house looks as old as time itself. We can search the drawer at the bottom of the stairs. Henry goes through all 3 drawers and nothing, of course. The front door is locked, and a door down the hall, past the bookshelf, that is the classic Resident Evil door, locked from the other side. Sure, okay, the door before the bookshelf is actually unlocked. This room is fucking annoying. It's a simple loop, however the tank controls, camera angles, don't bring it justice to its layout. I keep losing myself in this room when being chased and just running into walls like a madman on a Tuesday running errands for his blind deaf mother-in-law who just shot a man and she thought it was Paulie. I don't know how she saw him or even heard him. Starting the loop going left down the hallway, we see another 3-layer drawer with a teapot on top. There is an opening to the kitchen at the end of the hallway to the right, and to our left a door. That door can be picked with a bobby pin. We just need to find another one. Going to the right into the kitchen, then the dining room with banjo music playing. A door to the left of the dining room is leading us to the bathroom, and that follows into the living room, closing the loop. Each room just bleeds with decay and age of the home. Random pieces of decor that are just out of place and seem to have been placed there by a random grandma. Like this teapot on the empty drawers in the hallway. To top it off, we have a crooked painting at the end. Why, boomers? Why? Why? The kitchen has blood on the counter, another locked cabinet, a fridge my man refuses to open cause smart choice in my opinion.
Any beer in his fridge? Ah! No!
The dining room is just oozing with racism. Rocking chair, an oddly placed dining table, Jesus Christ on the wall, a creepy note we gotta read, and a radio playing banjo music. We use this radio later to solve some puzzles with a creepy note that we find. Finally, in the living room, we have at least one useful tool for the game, a save station. See, in Resident Evil games, you would need to find a typewriter, alright? And you just save your game at certain points with some ink ribbon. Oh, and I forgot to mention, there is a bathroom with a tub filled with nasty-ass water. And another 3-layer drawer in the bathroom. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. I noticed there was a door boarded. Henry says he has a tool upstairs to help him with that. I save my game and make my way upstairs. I check the toolbox to see if there is a tool, but there is nothing. I use my flashlight and see some shiny shit on the ground, and I go over and it's a hammer. So far, I've noticed no one else is in the house besides myself. My anus is very, very tight at this point. I make my way back down to the boarded up room, and I use the hammer to get the nails out of the wood and open up the door. Inside the room is a dresser for me to hide in. I'm not a fan of hiding places. A locked cabinet and something shiny on the ground. It's a note. The note talks about this guy named Philip who goes down to the basement every day at 8:45 p.m. and doesn't come back till the morning. The person who wrote the note also wrote notes in the dining room. The next thing I do is I try my Zelda method, and eventually I find out I gotta drain the bathtub in the restroom. There is a key at the bottom of the bathtub, a bronze key according to the game. I try this key fucking everywhere, alright? On the first door, a cabinet, absolutely nothing. I head upstairs, so there's a room upstairs down the hallway, the door to the left. This leads to the master bedroom. There is a cabinet, a bed, a random box on the nightstand next to the bed, a dresser to hide in, and a door that leads to who knows where. Something happens here due to my own stupidity. I end up quitting the game and restarting it. Oh, I quit. Oh, it says hold. Oh my god, dude.
I'm retarded?
I loaded up and the save and where I was before the hammer in the bathtub. I'd speed through this and end up back to where I was last. There is a cabinet in here, and I find another VHS tape. I check the box next to the nightstand. Henry says it's a gorgeous lockbox with a socket that opens it. I wonder if there's something around that could fit in it. A dresser for me to hide in, a door in the room that leads to a bathroom, with a bobby pin on the ground, and another boarded door. I remove the plywood and nails with my hammer. This door leads to the first room of the game. Another doorway opens up for me and Henry. I make my way back downstairs to the hallway with the teacup. I use my bobby pin on the locked door and make my way in. It's a nook of some kind with a fireplace, a wooden bookshelf, and of course, classic bullhorns over the fire pit. It brings the room together. Wow, 10 out of 10. A table is in the room with another note. By the way, all these notes are written by a person named Fred. This note explains an interaction with the family dog, Daisy. Our writer says that's the only thing that makes him feel normal around the house, until they smell the doggy's breath. It smelled so bad, Fred wanted to throw up. Must have been feeding them human meat. This happened on May 13th. The note continues, May 20th. They are starting to feel the need to leave the family now. they ended up cutting off their own arms, wrapping them in bandages. Uncle Bob grabbed Fred's arm and placed a cleaver in his hand and asked if they wanted to do it too. Fred threw the cleaver and ran to his room where he had his bags packed. He was ready to leave this place. He mentioned that he'll be back to help Uncle Bob, Auntie Marie, and Philip, wishing Daisy to be safe. I make my way to the door on the right. Oh man, that's wild. I turn away instantly to check the other room. The other room is a dog's room. I come to the conclusion that this is Daisy's room. We have a doghouse, the doggy bowl, the carpet, and the classic pizza box on the ground. Daisy is laying on top of a blood-soaked spot, chewing on who the fuck knows. Ideal living quarters for a domestic animal. We find a VHS tape, and then unfortunately for Henry, Daisy has a glowing item that we may need. Let me show you what this fucking demon called Daisy brings to the table. She doesn't like strangers, and let's just say that. This is the fucking enemy. In the entire fucking experience of Cannibal Abduction, I am calling the redneck. I suspect that this is the same guy from the beginning of the game who helped us on the side of the road. That's just a theory though. I know you all said it. I get fucking chased out from the dog's room, the fire pit, into the teapot hallway, into the kitchen, the bathroom, into the room with the closet downstairs to hide in. This was scaring the fuck out of me. All the elements of the game are in full play now. The camera angles, the tank controls, the tight narrow spaces of the hallways, creating a tense environment that brings that sense of terror that I felt as a kid playing Resident Evil 2 on N64. I am waiting in the closet, listening, waiting. I hear this human meat-eating footsteps flooding the halls coming near the room. The screen gets fuzzy with VHS static distortion, giving you a visual sign that he is close and you should be careful. That sound that plays is something of dread, slowly dying but still alive, almost like an alarm. When the coast is clear, I make my way out and save. I go to the bathroom, grab some bandages from the drawer, and heal my ass up. You start to get more and more bloody the more damage you take, and you start to limp. These bandages are the only healing items in the game. At this point of the game, the redneck can be anywhere in the house at this point. He gets me upstairs where I was trying to go for the toolbox. I make my way downstairs again. I am back in my hiding spot next to the saving station in the living room. I fucking hate this inbred piece of shit. I attempt to make my way back downstairs to try to explore the upstairs some more. Hopefully this time is clear from the master bedroom. Surprise, surprise! That son of a bitch is waiting for me. I ran out of the room. At this point, I start to think like a Dead by Daylight survivor. I got this shit. I try to juke him with some of my moves, and I still fail. I load up the last save point. First thing I do is grab the bandages. I make my way all the way upstairs to face this fucking piece of shit once and for all. I make it upstairs into the toolbox room, make it through the bathroom, to the master bedroom. No one is there. The randomness of this NPC is a bit off-putting. I hide a bit just in case because I see a little bit of static on the screen. I lose a bit of my cool and start to get a little extra paranoid.
I'm scared to death. I'm frightened and I don't know what to do. I'm confused and I want to go home.
I make it back downstairs to the nook with the fireplace and I get more static down there. I just leave past Daisy's room into the other door that leads to the downstairs hallway. The door that was locked from the other side. I get the redneck again.
Oh, Jesus! Why are you so loud, bro?
The loud sound of this guy is so fucking annoying. It just gives me anxiety. Let's just say he's doing his job, right? I say fuck it. And run my ass into the basement, hide in the dresser, just that just happened to be there. I had no idea anything was down there, or would have been down there. I just expected death, to be honest. I expected to die. The redneck comes up to the dresser, stands right in front of the fucking dresser, and stares at me.
Please, let me touch your feet.
Right into my soul. My hands are sweating. My controls dripping. I finally step out of the dresser and search the area. I only find a common key. I make my way out of the basement, into the kitchen, and open up the cabinet in there. There is a jug in there I cannot grab because my pockets are full. I go use my VHS tapes and save real quick since I got a common key, and it opens up one of my inventory slots for the jug in the kitchen cabinet. As I make my way into the kitchen, guess who's there? The redneck. I run to the dresser near the safe station. Static fades away eventually. I step out of the dresser and use this common key in the room's locked cabinet, and there is a can of dog food in there. I leave the chug in the kitchen for now. I make my way back upstairs, this time going to the toolbox room. I drop off the hammer, open the cabinet in the hallway, grab some more bandages, then drop it off in the tool room. Make it through the bathroom. Surprise, surprise! The redneck comes from the master bedroom area to scare the shit out of me. I run through the master bedroom, run downstairs to the usual hiding spot to wait it out. I leave the room and grab the chug in the kitchen cabinet. I go to Daisy's room, drop off the dog food in her bowl. Luckily, I do not need a can opener. I lay out the fucking shit slot for the little princess. Daisy hilariously wiggles over to her food, all happy, and eats her human meat like she has never eaten it before. I am finally able to grab the shiny object that Daisy has been chewing on. It's a doorknob. Yay! I leave Daisy's room feeling like a knob, while Daisy enjoys her slop. My sweaty ass makes it upstairs, and I use the doorknob on the knobless door to the right. It's an entrance to an attic. I find a valve on the left of the room on a shelf, a locked door with a master lock on the door with a 3-digit code to unlock it. On the master lock itself it reads 1090 KHZ. I instantly think about the radio in the dining room. I'm starting to think it's Morse code coming from weird sounds of the radio waves. Instantly, the redneck is coming. The static appears. The footsteps are heavy and close. I hide right away and wait. The distortion of the screen gets more and more intense this time. When he is finally gone, I hop out and acknowledge a VHS tape, but my pockets are full, so I can't grab it. I see a cabinet. I use the common key. There are bandages in here as well. I leave the attic and make my way to the toolbox room to drop off the chug and the valve to make room for the VHS tape in the attic. I notice a bit of static on the screen and panic, hide in the master bedroom dresser. I go back up to the attic, grab my VHS tape and bandages. I carefully make my way back down to save in the area of the living room. It was a smooth journey back, but I have a save game now. This may be my final save. I start to head to the radio downstairs in the dining room to decode the sounds. However, static yet again appears back to the old hiding spot to wait this shit out. I hear him. I feel his presence. Static increases. I hate this fucking guy so much. I leave back to the radio and I try this process. I stand in the corner of the room like a fucking madman. Henry is standing there, just listening to the sounds of the radio. In real life, I am writing shit down to determine exactly the tones of the sounds, the high pitch and the low pitch, and the timing in between each one. I do not know Morse code. I think I have it, and I make it back upstairs to try and attempt my stupid code dumbass probably made up. I think it's 458. Wrong combination. I try 584. Wrong combination. I try it again. 458. Not accepting the underlying truth of my dumb fucking idiot self. Got another wrong combination.
I'm retarded?
I start to read the notes I found earlier in the game from the dining room. Earlier in the game, I read these notes from Fred on February 3rd. These are about her Aunt Marie. staring at the radio on a specific frequency at night, completely entranced with the sounds. February 4th. Fred asked Marie why she was so up late. Auntie Marie excited to tell Fred she finally did it. She can connect to it. It talks to her. Fred asks who it was. She slowly faded back into a soulless body, and they both ignored each other for the rest of the day. Fred was worried about her and says she needs to see a doctor. I gain absolutely nothing from this information. I start to leave the attic and the redneck comes right upstairs to start fucking me hard. I barely get away from this one. I make it downstairs to the usual hiding spot. But something happened that I didn't see coming at all. The usual hiding spot is boarded the fuck up. What? The redneck was cooking downstairs while my small, fragile mind was trying to understand this stupid master lock puzzle. This inbred AI is quite impressive. He understood that was my main hiding spot during the playthrough. So I did what anyone would do. Just stand there and pray the static away. I leave after it's clear and I go straight for the radio in the dining room. I stand there for about 3 minutes counting the sounds and pauses. I check the radio, realize I was listening to the wrong station the whole time. My God, we're doomed. I tune to the correct station of 1090 Hertz. I spend the next 35 minutes attempting to figure out the combination of this fucking master lock upstairs in this stupid inbred house. I treat this puzzle like a fucking code to the Pentagon. I break out a real pen and paper and start counting all the tones and pauses, trying to my best to not miss anything, while attempting to not get fucked in the ass by this redneck. Henry's just standing there in the corner like the end of the Blair Witch Project. Again, I attempt more note-taking with these odd fart sounds of some sort of alien creature. I think I got it this time. I go upstairs. 4:32. Wrong. I give up morally at this point. The redneck comes upstairs and I say hello, with the flashing of the flashlight a couple of times because that's the only thing he understands. And I let him have his way with me. I load the last save. I spawn back into the living room and just silently walk to the dining room and just straight face the radio signal and try to figure this code out. I go online, find a walkthrough, but the walkthrough gives me the instructions on how to get the code, but not the code itself for 1090 Hertz. I come to a standstill and I just try my fucking best, counting the numbers.
The prophecy is true.
Why? Because you're not concerned with trying to make them happy, because you're trying to blow up. You're trying to get to the next level. I need you to invest in your mind. Invest in your mind. If you still talk about your dream, if you still talk about your goal, but you have not done anything, just take the first step.
That you can make your parents proud, you can make your school proud, you can touch millions of people's lives, and the world will never be the same again because you came this way. Don't let nobody steal your dream. After we face a rejection and a no, or we have a meeting and no one shows up, or somebody say you can count on me, and they don't count on you. What if we have that kind of attitude because we possess? Nobody believes in you. You lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day.
I finally understood that it was just the number of sounds in between the pauses. No pitch or length to be heard. I think I got it this time. And I start to head back upstairs. And the fucking redneck appears from the dog's room and chases me back upstairs. Me and these tank controls are not good friends. I run into walls like a drunk. I straight up book it to the attic and just hide there. I wait it out. When the fucking cannibal is finally gone, I make my way to the master lock. I put in 643. It worked. My dumbass did it. The room that I finally unlocked greets me with bloodstains on the ground, a bed on the ground, a bucket, toilet paper, rope, and a 63 tally marks on the wall. Not sure if it's bodies or days of the victims inside this room. I find a note and it says May 21st. I think it's a note from Fred. It states that he woke up in the attic and can't believe his own family would do this to him. He is trapped in there and they want him to cut off his own arm, but he won't give in. May 24th. Fred is so hungry at this point, his Uncle Bob offers him a plate of food every day, stating it is pig meat. He doesn't believe a word he says. May 26th, Fred is starting to feel weak. He couldn't resist anymore. He gave in and ate whatever was given to him. He was so hungry he can't even tell anymore. He feels like he is losing his mind now. June 20th. His Aunt Marie wished him a happy birthday and gifted him a bundle of rope. Is she giving him a way out? He starts to break down and cry. She hugs him and he starts begging her to let him out over and over again. He is starting to think he is a burden to them, and he thinks the family can't kill him themselves. July. He says maybe it's the 23rd. He has definitely been in here for over 60 days. The tally marks are days. Poor Fred. He says he is holding a knife for maybe hours thinking about cutting his own arm. Maybe he'll have a chance. I think the blood on the ground is Fred's blood from cutting his own arm off. I grab the rope and leave. I grab the bandages and make my way down to the toolbox room. I trade out my common key and bandages for the pot and the valve. I make my way downstairs to go through the dog's room to make my way to the basement. And of fucking course, the goddamn redneck is here. I kick it into high gear and just book into a loop around into the basement to get away from this amazing music this man plays when he is trying to eat my ass. I hide in the basement and wait. The asshole is finally gone. I step out, I put the valve into a spot where it needs to go. Water has been restored to the place. I don't know why they had the water shut off, but what do I know? I am simply a Henry. I'm retarded. I make it out of the basement into the stair hallway. The redneck comes from upstairs this time, really making me think he was using the bathroom upstairs. I just ran away. I'm kind of over this fucking guy at this point. I check the bathroom downstairs to see if the water is supposed to be running in this room. I check the sink, but nothing. I check the toilet, Henry says. I shit myself already. This whole time, this man has been running with shit in his pants.
Oh my God! The whole time!
I make my way into the kitchen and fill the pot with water. I don't know why. Zelda method. I start to head into the basement, walking through the nook. I notice the fire, like a moth to the light. I just go towards it. I put the fire out, and he said that there's something suspicious inside. A hidden button. A brick in the wall sticking out. I push it in. I don't know what that did. I check that door in Daisy's room. It's locked. I run down to the basement. The bookshelf has moved to the side and reveals another room. It's partially a little slaughterhouse/morgue. Blood everywhere. On the ground, on the wall, next to the entrance of the room, with 2 chains for someone's unlucky wrist. An embalming table with a headless body with their chest and gut opened up like a slaughtered cow. Probably the one that was on the wall here. A grinder to turn the chunks of meat into ground beef into a barrel. Cannibals indeed. An unbearably loud buzzing sound coming from the fluorescence light above the embalming table. A note is on the wall. This note this time, it seems like a checklist of sort, kind of reminding the butcher, quote unquote, I guess what they need to do with the pieces of the body. For the family. 1. Cut limbs. 2. Put in refrigerator. For Daisy. 1. Remove bones. 2. Grind. 3. Put into cans. For it. 1. Remove organs. 2. Throw it in the pit. Remember to bring the clothes and belongings to the backyard so we can burn it all. So the whole goddamn house is eating people? That dog you fed earlier was eating human meat? What in the flying fuck is it? After reading the note, I noticed there is a cabinet I can open up with a common key. With perfect timing, my shitty Dead by Daylight skills come back up with these shitty tank controls, and I attempt to loop this fool. I go in for the pass of the exit and try to avoid him, but he hits me with some axe air hockey. I ran out of the basement and just fucking panic in the evil loop downstairs. I managed to get away. Right away, I save the game. I bring my little scared ass upstairs, head to the toolbox room to grab the common key and some bandages with a hammer. I make my way back downstairs with no fear this time. I go past Daisy's room again, hearing her eat the food like I eat my wife's ass. I enter the top of the stairs of the basement and instantly am greeted by the redneck once again. I run to the usual hiding spot. It's clear. I start to leave the looped area through the dining room, and I turn the banjo music back to lighten up the cannibalistic ambience a bit. 10 out of 10, we'll never stay again.
This sucks, man.
I run back to the basement. I go back to the embalming room. I go straight to the cabinet, open that bitch up. There is a hexagonal shaped item inside. But of course, my dumbass didn't make room for this item inside this box. I forgot to mention there is a hole that goes down into the sewers in this room. There is a hook above it, so I use the rope on it and it makes a way down available. Now that I have room in my inventory, I go and grab the hexagonal shape in the cabinet. I finally notice there is another door in here. I go check it out, it's locked. I start to make my way back upstairs with extra caution because the static on the screen really be doing whatever the fuck it wants. With good reason, he appears just outside the living room area towards the teapot hallway. I make my way slowly into the main hall, up the stairs. The redneck appears just a couple of steps behind me from the door. I book it straight to the attic. I make it to the attic dresser and I wait it out. It's finally gone. I make my way to the master bedroom. I use the hexagonal shape on that box. It just gives me a clock hand. The fuck do I do with a clock hand? I know there's a master clock in the living room. I don't know what to do with this. I head down to the living room. I go to the grandfather clock, adjust it to a random time. I look through the diary and I completely miss the note that says 8:45 p.m.
Look, Pim, I know it's our job to help this guy and everything, but I think this guy's a lost cause. He's obviously made up his mind. Why don't we just cut our losses and get out of here?
I adjust the watch or the clock to whatever time, and I don't know what happens.
Hey, you're right, stupid science bitch couldn't even make I more smarter. All right, let's get out of here.
I start to lose patience here because I've been recording for 2 hours plus. I make my way back down to the basement and I'm trying to get to the end of the game to see how this wraps up. I check the open sewer hole with the rope and then this happens. Well, that sucks. Henry got sliced in the shoulder and now it's broken. We are in the sewers underneath this hellhole. We land next to what looks like a pile of organs or who knows, body parts. There is water down here almost up to our knee. I don't think I did everything I was supposed to do up there at this point. There's nothing left but to move forward. I'm stuck in a permanent animation of injury. I find a ladder and I just climb it. I just leave. Fuck this nightmare.
Hey kid, are you Jesus Christ, what happened to you?
They ate them. They wanted me to, but I got away.
What are you talking about? Who are they? Who did this to you?
The Tuckers. Tucker Farm. They're crazy.
Shit, this doesn't look good. Get in the truck. I gotta get you to the hospital. Can you keep pressure on the wound?
Yeah, I think.
Just relax. Here, I'll turn on the radio. You're safe now.
Well, we escaped. Nice. I boot the game back up later out of curiosity to see if I missed anything. I'm a brave soldier now, and I just book straight to the basement. I make it to the embalming room, into the basement, and go straight down the sewer. Injury included. At this point, I start to think, did he not want to eat me? Weren't they cannibals? Anyways, back here again. This time I take a camera right and set it to the left. There is a fucking locked gate. A couple of days go by and I make some time to go through this game to see what was behind that gate in the sewers. I did something that most would find disgraceful, but I looked up the time for the grandfather clock. Even though it was right in my face during the last playthrough, I was too lazy at this time to actually do some reading.
You stupid.
So lazy, in fact, I missed the part where it said, adjust the clock to 8:45 and confirm. You'll receive no warning that it worked, but it did. Now you can head to the basement and go to the locked wooden door, which will be unlocked. Quote unquote locked wooden door. My dumbass thought, once the time was set to 8:45, the grandfather clock, the gate in the sewer will be unlocked. I get Henry sliced like a pizza for the third time. I go down to the gate and get disappointed. Disappointed! I started over again. This time I realize it's a wooden door in the basement. I speedrun this bitch. I do the required things I need to get the grandfather clock hand and go set the time to 8:45. I run downstairs to the basement. I open the wooden door in the embalming room. This room looks like another jail hole to hold someone hostage until it's time to eat. Except this one actually has a toilet. Wow, luxury, 10 out of 10. Fuck this place times 2.
And I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard.
I find a key on the wall and grab it. Nothing else here of interest. Back to getting Henry sliced like a Dietz Mozzie stick on a fat kid's plate for the fourth and final time. I finally make it to the gate this time. It opens. Finally, we are in. I make my way down. It all looks relatively normal. Random piles of guts, like at the entrance of the sewer. I keep following the tunnel down. Then I come across a deep blood red anus, aka also known as Kim Kardashian's asshole. Yeah, he's been here. I make Henry walk in. It's just bloody walls with a meat-like texture to it. This is definitely what a tapeworm sees. The tunnel leads to a fork. I make a left. We start to hear that sound from the radio earlier. Not the Morse codes. The actual weird sounds that we actually heard in the ending when we escaped.
You're safe now.
It's a weird gargling, belly rumbling sound. See if you could hear it here. We go deeper. We stumble upon what looks like, I assume, are only eggs. A good amount of them too. Little ones to big ones, and it looks like one of them has been hatched already. The eggs are breathing. Henry checks one of the eggs and says, not sure if these things are eggs, but they're organic. I wonder if they're breeding from the flesh around them. I am starting to feel uncomfortable in this place. Flesh around them? In this anus tunnel, really just flesh and meat? I start to leave to see what the rest of this place may look like. I find out it's just another loop, and this happens. This song, oh my fucking god, it is so good. This was a fun game, I'm not gonna lie. I think this is what happened. As the MC was in the wrong place in the wrong time, usual horror trope, I think the creatures below are eating human meat too. The Tucker family are feeding and breeding those creatures downstairs, and they have a telepathic connection with them. Hence Auntie Marie listening to the radio and calling it it. The family was probably never cannibals to begin with. Maybe one of these creatures living below kind of made them into a cannibal and then started roaming the sewers to eat the meat. Hence why maybe they turned off the water. The whole plan was to use Henry as meat for the family, clearly, and for it. What do you guys think? Tell me down in the comments below. Well, that was Cannibal Abduction. Very fun experience. The gameplay brought me back to the old days of playing OG Resident Evil with my friends. This developer is currently working on a new game. I shall definitely make a video on that sooner or later. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a nice little comment or like, whatever you want. These videos take months to make. It's a big passion of mine. This is all just a hobby. I just do this for fun. Thank you guys for watching and being entertained by this. This has been Gannis Evil Brother. See ya.